Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe and share.
Voxes. By Sigel Samuel. April 17, 2019. Women suffer needless pain because almost everything is designed for men. Why women are 50% more likely to be misdiagnosed after a heart attack and 17% more likely to die in a car crash.
I will not put the entire article here. Anyone who wants to read will go to the source. What's more, this is not exactly an article, that's more a book review. All she writes here, and all the proof she brings here, comes from one book and one author, Caroline Criado Perez. She did not take the time to check things herself. Now can someone tell me how a woman writes a complete article about how women are different from men, physically, mentally and medically, is published in BuzzFeed and other places? The ones who shout all the time that there is no such thing as men and women. And if they are, then they are the same. Now let's see who the expert she is writing about.
Hello, I'm Caroline Criado Perez and I'm here on the top floor of Waterstones Piccadilly, and as you can see I'm going to have to walk even further up to get to the ladies' toilet.
How stupid do you think people are? Anyone who has ever in his life was in an office building or some public place knows that the toilet of women and men are next to each other.
You know, any time that women want to go to the loo, it's a massive bun fight to get there before everyone else, because otherwise you'll be waiting there in line for 10 minutes. And a lot of people think that that's because women are just in there chatting and putting on makeup. Well, a lot of men think that. Obviously, women don't think that.
2, 1.
Oh, shit!
3, wait, 2, I'm actually doing this. Freshen up your punani, punani, punani. Freshen up your punani for your boyfriend.
Why does it smell like poo? What? It smells Oh my god!
Who's lifting me down I'm lifting I don't know the move. Oh my god! What are you doing in here?
You know, you do not have to lie. You can just explain that women take more time because they need to sit down to urinate, and also have the menstrual cycle, clothes that takes longer to take off. I agree that women's toilet should be bigger. But that's not what really interests you. You're here to blame the men, and so you have to lie to make it a matter of male domination.
But the real reason is far more interesting than that. It is to do with male bias in toilet design. Women can't tend to use urinals because we don't tend to have penises.
So you say there are women with a dick? If this is true, then there is no difference between men and women, because it means that there are men with vagina. And therefore you do not need more toilets for women.
Women are also more likely to be with children or with elderly people or with disabled people. They're also more likely to be elderly and disabled.
Are you talking about single women?
1 in 3 women worldwide lack access to a safe toilet.
Are you talking about third world countries? Are you talking about Muslim countries? What is it? All over the wide world? You try to put women in the first world countries with women in other countries because, you know, you will have nothing to stand on if you talk only about women in countries like Europe and the United States.
But what a lot of people don't realize is that it's a very different business for a woman to be traveling in a car than it is for a man to be traveling in a car. So men are more likely to be in a crash and therefore more likely to be injured overall. But if a woman is in a crash, she is 47% more likely to be seriously injured and 17% more likely to die.
And is not because woman's body is usually weaker than the man's body?
And this is all because of how the car is designed and for whom. Essentially, for decades, we have used a 50th percentile male crash test dummy. And that means that the whole car is set up for women to be out of position drivers. We sit forward, too far forward, in order to see over the dash and to reach the pedals with our feet, you know, kind of important for driving. The seats aren't designed for either our height or our weight or our muscle distribution. So we're basically doing it all wrong, and as a result, we're much more likely to be injured.
Are you telling us that all women look the same and all men look the same? You really think we're stupid?
Not so lucky there either. It turns out in London, a fifth of women, in fact, have been sexually assaulted on buses and tubes, and 90% of them didn't report it.
Excuse me? 90% did not report it? So how do you know that? Do you have special forces that we do not know about? Can you read the mind of other women? Are you inventing facts and hope that we will not notice the nonsense you say?
But the kind of trips that women have to do in addition to their paid work, taking the kids to school, taking an elderly relative to work, picking up the groceries, you know, all the things that actually have to get done for life to carry on.
Yes, people, if you see a man doing these things, it is only in your imagination. Only women do it.
In fact, even the device that you're probably using to watch this on, your mobile phone, that's designed to fit into men's hands rather than women's hands. The average smartphone is now 5.5 inches, which is too big for the average woman to use comfortably one-handed.
First of all, most phones today come out in 2 sizes, so stop lying. Second thing, there is no such thing as average. The average of people from Southeast Asia to people from the West is different. The average of people from Africa to people from Europe is different, etc. Are you so racist that you do not consider people from other places? So you chose to do an article when your only source is this liar. This is what happens when your hatred is so great that you do not see what is in front of you. How do you want us to take something you have to say seriously? Even if there is something within the article that is justified, you lost our faith in the moment you took her as a reliable source. Hope you've learned something and you've enjoyed. If so, you know what to do.